Oh, it's game on now at the top of the league. Leeds are going up, possibly as champions. We are talking on the Leeds View this week about the Huddersfield game. We'll talk about where Leeds just a little bit lucky and do they deserve a little bit of luck this season. And also we're reviewing, obviously, who Steve thinks is heading down from the Championship. Steve, good evening. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you, Mark. Apart from having quite a hoarse voice following on from the Leicester game, I'm good. How are you guys?
All right, thank you. Is that because you were singing I Put It to Riot for 10 minutes at the end of the game?
That and countless other songs. Yeah, there was a lot of shouting, screaming, and then pure ecstasy at the end of the game.
All right, let's ask you straight up and honest. And I want all Leeds fans in the comments to comment to this one. At 80 minutes, were you thinking, well, this home record was all right. We've had it where it lasted. Were you ready to accept that game was going nowhere?
Do you know what? By far Leicester are the best team that have come to Elland Road this season. Do I think we was going to lose? No, you've still got that optimism as a football fan. But did I expect what happened from 80 minutes onwards? No, I didn't. I mean, on the balance of the game, Leicester had some really good chances, and we were probably fortunate not to be 2-0 down when I think it was Daka went through one-on-one, put that wide. But saying that, we had two really, really big chances in the first half. Peru put one over, maybe within the first 10 minutes. And then Nonto, who looked like it all day long, he was going to shoot, and he cut it in onto his left and missed that opportunity. So, listen, Leicester, they did well. And yeah, probably on the balance of things, it was the first time I think we was quite lucky to get the 3 points. But yeah, I'm never, ever going to complain in those moments, ever.
We've spoke on this channel a lot about some refereeing decisions that have gone against Leeds this season.
Yeah.
Do you think in the 90 minutes that all of that balanced itself out with some of the decisions that Leeds got from Craig Pawson, who I have to say on record as a fan of a Premier League club is one of the worst, if not the worst, referees in the Premier League. And how he got this massive game, I do not know. But that said, do you think you got the rub of the green from the referee?
Listen, it was an iffy refereeing performance. I don't think it quite contributed to the result. There was one where Ricardo Pereira was booked even from Leeds fans, it looked like a really good tackle. I was even surprised it was a foul, never mind a booking. And I think he evened it out towards the end of the first half. He booked Road on for a similar thing. But the big key decision, if it's in the Premier League, I think VAR do overturn the disallowed goal. But even when you rewatch that, you're watching it a few times to really understand the who's it come off last. So yeah, we've got the rub of the green on that. But I think me and the other 23 guys on this podcast will agree we don't want VAR in the Championship. And no. I think some of those we are going to probably look back in hindsight and know that, like you say, we got the rub of the green on probably Friday.
All right. I'm going to ask you in a minute who you think's going down. But, of course, this weekend you play a team which you're 4-0 up against at half-time earlier in the year, which is Huddersfield. But this is a very, very different Huddersfield Town side to what you played back then. We're going to bring in Mark, who is our Terrier fan on the Terrace Talk. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening.
All right. You didn't enjoy your trip to Elland Road much, did you? When you last played Leeds?
No, a disaster. Absolute disaster. 4-0 down at half-time. Somerville just taking Mick, just having time of his life. Like, one of the best Saturdays I've ever had.
Had you left by half-time? Were you walking out of Elland Road, or had you stayed?
No, I try not to leave games earlier. It's no good because you've paid your money. I've given them some money, but you're just always hoping that you'll get back in game. And to be fair, we won second half 1-0, so No, yeah.
Okay. All right.
We might have been losing 4-0 at time, but we won second half. So.
Steve, there's a running theme this year of Championship teams when they've had a big result, they're not being able to follow it up. It usually gets followed up by draws or defeats, and Leeds have been guilty of that themselves earlier in the season. Are you therefore slightly worried about your trip to the John Smiths or not?
I'm worried with every game because it's the Championship. Any team can do well. I mean, you look at Huddersfield's form recently. Of course, it's inconsistent. That's why they're down towards the bottom of the league. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the win one, draw or lose, win one, draw or lose, win one. They had some really good results under the interim manager, and then the new manager's come in and got a late win against Watford, which was a crucial game for them. So they'll be confident, of course they will, but that's the balance side of me. The Leeds fan in me is thinking we've won 9 games in a row. If we win against Huddersfield on Saturday, it's a club record. I think the boys will use that as motivation and, to continue closing that gap at the top. I've been worried in the last few weeks about Southampton. Now Ipswich won't go away. So the reality is we have to be perfect now. It's just the way the results are so mad. Okay. So, yeah, Huddersfield have always got a fighter's chance, but I think the quality that we will show and the players that we have, I know that Mark's referenced a couple of them already, but I think that will do us a lot of good come Saturday lunchtime.
Mark, how do you go about stopping Leeds then if you're Andre Brighton-Writer?
I think some of what we've kind of missed at the moment is the fact that Leeds have got a really tough game on Wednesday night, and it depends on how far it's going to take that. I mean, an away trip to Chelsea in the FA Cup, how do you do that? And the town fan in me goes, I hope Somerville's injured. I hope Nanto's injured. I hope Mellier's injured. It's not going to happen, obviously, but it's kind of like, that is a really tough game for me. It's a Wednesday night trip down to London and back. So you're kind of thinking, will there be some fatigue? Will Somerville start on bench? But I think we've turned the corner. We really have, and we're scoring goals in games. We've scored in every game we've played this year, this calendar year, and Leeds are susceptible to goals. Hopefully, our 2 main centre backs are back. I think Brother Spencer's having a really good season, and with them, we've not lost when them two have played together. Jonathan Ogg might be an issue, but if you can get Jonathan Ogg going one-on-one with Kamara or we Rodon in midfield or whoever it is, I don't want to say I expect a cheeky win and stuff, but we're not the team what Leeds played a couple of months ago. We're a lot better than that. We're a lot stronger. And, we're used to having the ball now. We're used to breaking down defences. So it's kind of that, and it's kind of, let's see how our main defences can work and how Leeds fatigue after Wednesday, because that's a massive game for them themselves. And you'll see how important it is to Farker on Saturday by whatever team he puts out on Wednesday.
Okay. All right, let's get a bit of love between you then. Mark, do you see Leeds going up?
They're doing well, aren't they? I mean, to be honest, it's a crazy league. The bottom end is just as ridiculous as top end this season, and I absolutely love it. I love the fact that, you've got Southampton obviously up and down, you've got Leeds up and down, you've got Ipswich up and down. I think they'll go up. The town fan in me and the football fan in me says if they end up in playoffs, they ain't going up, because we don't do playoffs, don't Leeds. They can't handle it. They can't do the pressure. So generally, if Leeds are going to go up, they'll go up automatic. And I think they're probably the best driving seat to do that, because I feel like Leicester can lose quite a few more games. I looked at Leeds fixtures at home and I can't see them losing another game at home this season, to be honest.
Yeah,
maybe against Hull.
We talked about that last week, Steve, didn't we? Okay, Steve, and to finish off with then, are Huddersfield going to go down?
Genuinely, I don't think so, no. I think the sacking of Moore was a good decision. He gets given the label of the nicest man in football, but unfortunately, nice men don't win, right? So they had to make that decision for the football club, and they've turned a corner. Even losing 5-3 to Southampton, it shows that they've got impetus and it shows that they've got some fight in them. So no, I actually don't think Huddersfield are going to go down. I think, unfortunately, we're going to lose a couple of Yorkshire clubs in Rotherham and Sheff Wednesday, and Stoke just look like they are sliding down. So,
sorry, did you say unfortunately you're going to lose Sheffield Wednesday? Then that's doesn't sound like a true Leeds fan.
It's Yorkshire clubs. I'd rather the Yorkshire clubs
have Yorkshire teams in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather the Yorkshire teams, as much as there's the rivalry there. I don't want to I guess you did hear me say that, so okay. I'll get some pelters from the Leeds fans for that. But I think we will see a couple of Yorkshire teams go, and Stoke, potentially Cardiff as well. When we played them earlier this season, a few weeks ago when we won 3-0. I think they looked really out of sorts. Probably one of the worst teams I've seen us play this season. So I do think Huddersfield will stay up.
Okay, all right. Let's get some score predictions then for the trip to the John Smiths. Mark, you're at home, so you can go first.
I think odd goal in 3. I think 2-1 to either team. My heart says Town, obviously, but my head's saying Leeds. I mean, they're on this phenomenal run, and if you're any Leeds player, Matt, you've got to be right up for that. But again, depends on fatigue from Wednesday night. Okay. So I can't see it being a high-scoring game. Right. 2-1 to either team. Okay, cheers, Mark. Steve?
Yeah, I think there's some good points there. The Chelsea game, I think we are going to rest some players. We'd love a cup run. We'd love to get to a quarter-final, but being promoted is the biggest priority. So I think we'll play our strongest 11 come Saturday lunchtime, based on trying to get to the elusive 10 club record wins in a row at Huddersfield. I think we're going to win, and I'll go with 2-0.
Love confidence. All right. Well, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please do so, because we review every Leeds and every Huddersfield game throughout the season. 10 games left to go as well into March. Not long now before the fate of both clubs is decided. Cheers, both. Enjoy the game. And
cheers. Thank you.
Behave yourselves. Right.
Definitely.
See you later, guys.
Cheers. See you.